The top 1% of copywriters obsess over clarity, and everybody else hides behind vague statements, overcomplicated sentences, and filler words. And after years of analyzing and refining sales copy, I've noticed three patterns that consistently weaken otherwise solid writing. They're subtle yet very common, but they're easy to fix once you know them. And today, in this video, I'm going to show you the three most common copywriting mistakes I see over and over again, and how small edits can dramatically improve your copy and skyrocket your conversions.
What are these mistakes? First one is vagueness. The second one is clunky flow. And the third one is an overuse of it, this, and that, which are very vague pronouns. Right, so now that we got everything out of the way, we are going to focus on each of them in more detail. But before we continue, please subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying the content. All right. Number one, vagueness. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's being vague or not specific enough. Either of these are bad. So let's take a look at a few examples because you're going to see what I mean. So this is an example. In the last few years, I've mentored many people on how to craft better copy. This is quite vague, right? It says in the last few years, this is vague. I've mentored many people, this is vague. And how to craft better copy, this is good. Okay, a better example. In the last few years, I've mentored many coaches, consultants, copywriters, and small business owners on how to craft better copy. This one is still vague, but this one is more specific because I'm not saying many people, but I'm saying many coaches, and I'm being more specific on who I have coached. And then the best example, in the last 5 years, so this is more specific, I've mentored over 100 coaches, blah, 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 and small business owners on how to craft better copy. So this one is even more specific. However, this could be a little bit better now that I'm thinking about it. And it could be in the last 5 years, I've mentored over 100 coaches, consultants, copywriters, and small business owners on how to craft better copy. And this part could be on how to craft high converting emails for the ecom niche, for example. Obviously, I have probably to change some of these here, but let's say I've mentored over 100 coaches, consultants, copywriters, and small business owners on how to craft those emails. Okay, now this tip is about, or this common mistake actually, is being too vague or not specific enough. However, there's some people who sometimes are way too specific. Let's take a look at this example. In the last 63 months, I've mentored 127 coaches, consultants, blah, 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 how to craft better copy. So in the last 63 months makes it a little bit too specific. And 127, I think that's fine. But I would still probably say over 100 or more than 120 or something like this. And then 63 months, that's 5 years and 3 months. I wouldn't say 5 years and 3 months, right? I would say in the last 5 years or in the last 5+ years or something like this. But in the last 63 months just sounds way too specific. All right, let's move to the second common mistake, which is clunky flow. In copywriting, clunky flow refers to writing that feels awkward, disjointed, or difficult to read. I'm sure you've read a lot of copy and you wondered, I'm getting confused here, what's going on here, right? So this can be due to a few reasons. First of all is unnatural phrasing. The second is poor sentence structure. And the third one, which is the most common, is the lack of smooth transitions. And what happens is that when you have clunky flow, it disrupts the reader's experience, making the text feel forced or hard to follow. And if it's not a forced or if it's a VSL, it's the same. Doesn't matter what the format is. Okay, let's take a look at a few examples. So unnatural phrasing, our service facilitates the expeditious procurement of superior quality goods. Crazy, right? No, nobody speaks like that. Super unnatural. Here's how we can improve it. Our service makes it easy to quickly get high quality products. This is friendly, this is conversational, and most of all, it's easy to understand. Okay, let's move to the second part of clunky flow. This is poor sentence structure. Here's a bad example. When I was 24, making 30K as a self-employed personal trainer, and just after quitting my stable career as an accountant, I would wish now I had this kind of care and support. Can you see how this is quite confusing because of the structure? When I was 24, making, and just after quitting, I would wish now. So a lot of crazy stuff going on. So here's how I would improve this. Now, I wish I had this kind of care and support when I was 24, making 30K as a self-employed personal trainer. And I even omitted this just after quitting my stable career as an accountant because it just makes the copy clunky. However, I feel that now here is not great. So let's actually move it here. I wish I had this kind of support now, or I wish right now that I had this kind of support, of care and support when I was 24, blah, blah. So this would be much, much better. And this one is, let's see, 33 words, which is very, very long. And this one is probably like 20-ish, 24. This can still be better, but this is like 35% or 30 something percent less. So, and also it starts with this part here, which makes it a lot more structured. Okay, let's move to the last one from clunky flow, and that's lack of smooth transitions. Let's take a look at a bad example. This is not a dig against all coaches and therapists. Some do a great job, and their expertise is truly invaluable. I've spent lots of money on their advice and benefited from it. This is about empowering you with the tools and self-awareness to take control of your own health. Okay, why is this a bad example? Well, it lacks a few transitions. For example, this is not a dig. Some do a great job, and their expertise is truly invaluable. And then we have, I've spent lots of money on their advice. So here's where the flow is a little bit clunky. And then you have, this is about empowering you. So this one again is disjointed here. So let's see how we can improve it. This is not a dig against blah, blah, blah. Some do a great job. Okay, so these two stay the same. Some do a great job and their expertise is really invaluable. In fact, I've spent lots of money on their advice and benefited from it. So this, in fact, is making the transition smoother, although Grammarly is saying that I should remove the phrase, which means that you shouldn't always listen to Grammarly. Okay, let's dismiss this. And then we have another transition here, and that needs to be smoothened out, and I have added instead. Some do a great job. I spend lots of money on there and benefit from it. Instead, this is empowering you. So, and I have pasted all these 4 sentences because this instead is actually linking this thought with this thought. So this is not against. Instead, this is about empowering. So this goes here. This is the idea here. Okay. Right, so let's move to the third common copywriting mistake, and it's an overuse of these pronouns it, this, and that. So this is probably the most common mistake, and we will use the same example actually from above, from this part here. Okay, so you already know it. I have just highlighted this, it, and this again. These are the two examples of the pronouns, and here's how I would change them. So here is this, and this is unclear what this is. So I'm going to change it to my approach. It's not a dig against blah, blah, blah. Some do a great job. In fact, I spent lots of money from it. And here, benefited from it, which is the pronoun for guidance here, and it's fine. That's why I put fine here. This is fine. You can use it. You don't have to rewrite it. But here, instead, this approach is about empowering you with the tools and self-awareness to take control of your own health. I think it's important to mention this approach again. So this is my approach, and then this approach to be more, to be clearer and to be more specific, which was actually mistake number one, where people are vague in their copy. And even better here, I have a comment. Even better if this approach has a name. Instead of saying my approach or this approach, instead, Svet's secret self-awareness protocol is about empowering you, blah, blah, blah. Of course, this is just a tentative name, and probably I can come up with a better one. But this just illustrates how important being specific and removing it, this, and that in your copy is. So yeah, that's basically it. One final tip that I just remembered right now is that you can remove most instances of that. For example, you just click and do a search and look for the pronoun that. So I have it here. In copywriting, linking flow refers to writing that feels okay. We can't remove it here. I wish right now that I had this kind of support. We can delete it. I wish right now I had this kind of support, and the copy is even better. Great. So I have only 3, and 2 of those are the examples, and this one in copywriting, clinical flow refers to writing feels. Obviously, we can't remove this, but most of the time we can remove that. All right, so this was the first episode of Copy Crimes with the Copy Titan, and I just shared the 3 most common copywriting mistakes and how to fix each of them. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, give me a like and a subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Enjoy. And if you would like to follow me even more closely, join my email list. I will leave a link in the video description. Cheers.